Yeah, the best Alan Rickman story I've heard is he used to go out for dinner with friends all the time, and they would try to pay, and he'd say, "I got this, Harry Potter." And he would just pay for a ton of meals and stuff. So I really want to start with a sincere congratulations. This movie is fucking awesome. Tried to bleep myself. It's the fastest 2.5 hour movie I've seen in a long time. I want to specifically talk about the fact that not only were you cast in the movie, and the thing is, sometimes when you were cast, you can have a small role and it's still cool. But what was it like for you getting cast, and then, Tom and Chris are like, yeah, you have a massive role. You're involved in all the action. Can you do this? Or get ready.
Yes. Well, it was a lot in that, for context, when I came in to do the screen test, McHugh had seen me in a play 10 years previously, and he was like, what you do on that stage, I want to bottle it and put it onto screen and write a character for you, but I don't know what that is yet. We cut to 10 years later, and he calls me up and he says, will you come in and read with Tom? We're thinking of creating the next installment of Mission Impossible, looking for a new leading lady opposite him. And there wasn't a character that I had to fit into. There was just this brief of going, let's see. We want to find the actress who loves this work ethic, who loves the process of it, who loves to collaborate and throw herself into every opportunity with all these resources of working with these experts as is possible. And from that, a character is going to emerge. And so it was this sense that you can sort of, on a daily basis, write yourself into the story, or if you become back-footed or a bit fearful or a bit kind of like, you take your eye off the mark, you could also backtrack out of the movie. Like there was this kind of a strong sense of that. That's how collaborative it felt like. So I came in going, we don't know who this character is. She didn't have a name for a long time. But I will try lots of different things, and we're going to see what lands, and we're going to see what the film wants. I'm going to see what the camera wants, and ultimately what the audience wants. So here you have Grace. Yeah.
And also the other thing about this franchise is Chris is so good at writing great female characters, man, I have a ton of questions. Let's talk about the car chase in Rome, just because it's so incredible and unique, because it adds humor that feels earned, not just forced to make people laugh.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about filming that sequence, because you also shot during the day in Rome. Streets are shut down. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. You're absolutely right. McQuarrie is an incredible writer. He really understands structure and pressure and how to put characters together in a situation that they shouldn't be in or don't want to be in, and that has inherent tension to it. And so the comedic elements to that are sort of comic relief and in between those moments of how high the stakes are, but nothing that feels too, as you said, too pushed, too forced, too reached for. Every time we tried something that felt farcical or felt a little bit too cute, it didn't work, and we could feel it, and we could change and pivot and do something else. But a lot of the humor came out of the kind of natural circumstance of Ethan Hunt being undermined by a Fiat 500. I mean, that in itself is so brilliant. The car became a character in and of itself. And so to have Grace, who's an outsider, not knowing who Ethan Hunt is, watching a man, instead of turning on the engine, turning on the windscreen wipers. Like she's a bit worried for him. And she's also kind of worried for herself that she's not with someone who really knows what they're doing. And so there was a kind of an ease with finding the comedy between us. I think that it came out of the circumstances.
What I love about Tom is that he's willing to look stupid on camera.
Yeah.
And there's a shot in that sequence where he's just almost giving up. Like, I don't understand, and it's many actors would not give that shot. But Tom, you know what I mean?
I'm so pleased you picked up on that, because, you could see that every day. He leaves his ego and his pride at the door, and he is able to cede power for the sake of a great moment in the movie, or something new that we haven't seen him do as Ethan Hunt. And to watch him find the kind of the vulnerabilities and the slightly more, idiosyncratic version of Ethan, who feels a little embarrassed or humiliated, and he really leaned into that. And the the funnier it becomes and the more we like him. And so he's masterful at knowing what the audience want.
One of the other things, though, about taking this role, because you're in both parts, is this has been filming for basically 20 years. And it's going to continue filming through the beginning of next year. Again, I don't know how much of a role you have in part 2, but was there any hesitation taking a role that would require years of your life? Maybe you didn't know at the time, talk a little bit about that aspect.
Yeah, we didn't know. I mean, I think with the ambition that they had for this, it was kind of obvious to me that this probably would run over a little bit. The training alone before we began shooting was 5 months. And so you also get the sense that they're not going to stop until it's right. They are so dedicated to delivering a film for the audience that truly delights them and surprises them from the last installment. So when you're there, you understand why things take as long as they take. You understand the level of detail that goes into it from every department, and also changes that they're making on the day when they come up with a better idea, or they go, you know what, that we thought that idea delivered, but actually we've come up with something that's far more interesting. And that has been naturally born out of a sudden change in location, or something that I did that suddenly went, you know what, let's actually have her in this moment, take a left instead of a right. And I love working in that way because it feels very alive. If this had been a script that we shot to the book every single day that didn't change, that was the same, then that takes a different kind of level of patience. But just the sheer variety of what I was asked to do and had access to learning was so all-encompassing that it's far beyond the film. It's really changed my life.
Yeah. Also, there's very few filmmakers who can do what Chris and Tom do without a script. It's madness what they can pull off.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I gotta go. Enjoy the rest of your speed dating, and seriously, congrats.